So welcome back to Daisy Lane TMD. How complicated is it to install DCC? That is the question that is asked at most exhibitions that we attend with Daisy Lane. Normally we end up taking a loco top off to show whoever's asking the question how difficult it is. So I thought for this video I would install DCC into a locomotive just to show you how simple it is. Basically, on a DC locomotive you have two feeds from the track, one from the left, one from the right track, which comes up and goes to two sides of the motor. It's as simple as that. DCC, all you do is you insert the chip between the track feed and the feeds to the motor. So it's just the track feeds go to the chip and two feeds come out of the chip and go to the motor, and it's as simple as that. So without further ado, let's take this loco body off, which is a Lima Class 47 made in about the year 2000. So let's take the top off here and see what we're dealing with. So unfortunately age has caught up with me and I have to wear glasses now, so let's have a look. Now on here, as you can see, we have a feed from the track on this side which goes direct to the motor. We also have a feed from the back which goes to the same motor, and then we have a feed from the other side of the track which goes to the other side of the motor. Now these are all in black at the moment, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to disconnect all the wires and I'm going to turn them into what is the standard NRMA colour scheme. So you have black and red from the track, and then you have, I think it's orange and grey to the motor. Okay, once we've got those in place, I'll come back to you and we can see how we put it together. So let me get that done now and then let's go from there. So okay, so there we go. Now we've got that all set up. So you can see we've got black feeds from the right hand side of the track. We've got a red feed from the left hand side of the track, and we've got an orange and grey feed to the motor. Now that's the standard colour coordination, so that's what we like to use. It makes it easier to identify what wire is doing what job at a quick look, and then you helps with sorting out any problems. Now moving on to the DCC installation, you can take the DCC chip, cut the 8-pin off the end and wire it direct to these wires, and that's what they call hard wiring. Now a couple of points to bear in mind with that. Firstly, if you did that way you would be introducing heat to the DCC chip, which is a very delicate piece of equipment and can very easily be damaged. So it's not always the best way to go. Secondly, once you've wired the chip in, the chip's there if you want to change the chip. So if you put a normal chip in and then you want to put a sound chip in, you've then got to desolder it, solder a new one in, etc, etc. So we use one of these, which is a little 8-pin socket. Now as you can see, there's 8 holes in the socket for the chip to go in, and then along the bottom here there's 4 pads each side which relate to the holes. Now this being the standard as well, it's very simple to wire in. So you have track feeds from the left on one side and diagonally opposite the right on the other side, and the 2 feeds from the motor are the other corners. So it's very simple to put this in. Once this is in, you can install one of these, which is a blanking plug, which means that you can run the loco still on DC if you wish, or you can install either a DCC chip or a DCC sound chip and run it on DCC, and very easily switch between the two by just removing it and swapping it over. So it's a really good piece of kit. So let's now move forward and insert this into the loco, solder it in correctly as it should be, and then we can move on to the testing phase, which is the fun bit, if you like. So let's move forward now and see how we get on. Okay, so in order to install this, we normally use a piece of black tack, which is a great piece of kit, on the back, and just push the socket into position. It helps if you take the weight out, so it gives you a bit of room. So we've got track feeds to this corner here, to that corner there, and to the opposite corner there, which I hope you can see, and feeds to the motor from that corner and that corner. So I've left these wires nice and long because there's nothing worse than cutting the wires rather short and not having enough to solder in. So let's now move forward, cut these wires to suit, so it'll be a nice and neat job when it's done, and then we can solder them up to the relevant areas, and then we can give it a test. So I'll now proceed forward and trim these down. Okay, right. Of course, the trick is to leave enough spare wire so that if you need to take the wheels out or take the motor out or anything like that, you've got enough flexibility to do it. There's nothing worse than doing it so tight that you can't actually do any work to the loco without, there we go, without unsoldering some of the wires. So it's a happy medium between having it too tight and not tight enough. So we'll connect those two up together. He says this is where it gets rather fiddly. It wouldn't be so bad if the table wasn't moving about. This is actually one of the boards that will form March TMD Reborn in miniature, and it was just sort of standing over the side, so I thought I'd make use of it and do my filming on it today. So it's doing two purposes really, and it's the ideal height with the bar stool. So there we go. We've just tinned them wires. We'll trim that back because it is very easy on this socket to get a few stray wires that could touch the next panel. I know we're not using the next panel at the moment, but when we come into soldering lights or a steam generator or anything else such as that, that's when those pads come into play. So I'm obviously going to go through that in another video later on. We'll install lights and what have you, but we're not going to do that today. We're just doing the DCC. So let's solder this little wire in position. There we go, simple as that. So that's now in position. I'm going to do the same for the other three wires, and then I'll come back to you and we can do a bit of testing. Okay, so there we go. So you can now see that we've got the black wires from one side of the track to one connector. We've got the red wire from the other side of the track directly opposite on the back. We've then got the two feeds to the motor, which are the opposite diagonal corners, and they are all the wires you need to put on to turn a DC locomotive into a potential DCC locomotive. Sorry. So now let's put that to a side. This little booty here is what's called a blanking plug, and if I insert that into the chip, into the socket, it will allow me to run this loco on DC again. I can remove it and install a chip, and then I can run it on DCC. So let's install the blanking plug now, which just pushes into the socket. And now I should be able to put this on here and power it up as I did before, and it should work. So let's give it some power. And there you go. It's still working on DC power. So this is effectively a DCC ready locomotive that you would buy from the shop. A socket with a plug. As soon as you remove the plug, you can insert a chip. It's as simple as that. So if I put the weight back in, I'll take you off the tripod stand now and bring you over and let you have a look so you can see what we've done. So let's do that now. Okay, so here you can see now. So here is the socket that we've soldered in. I said we've got the track feed to this particular point here, and we've got the other track feed diagonally opposite over here. Same with the feed to the motors, one here and one diagonally opposite there. They are the only feeds you need to put in. There's the socket itself, and here's the blanking plug, which I've just dropped, which very simply just pushes in to the socket, and that creates you a DCC ready locomotive. As you've seen, it runs on DC power. Now the next thing is for me to get a chip, and let's power it up on DCC and let's see how that goes. So okay, so we've now got the DCC controller out. Let's take the blanking plug out, and here we have a straightforward 8-pin chip. There's no need to worry about all the other colours, simply because there's no connections to the pads on the socket, so they're not going to do anything. You just simply take the blanking plug out, carefully plug in the chip, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do, because you've got to get all 8 pins lined up. Once you get them lined up, and I'm making a right fist of this, the careful thing you got to do is make sure you don't get the pins bent. If they are bent, then it's, there we go, it's really difficult to do. So now we've got the chip in, loco back on the track, so now effectively we have a DCC locomotive. So let's turn the power on, let's put the correct number in and give it some power, and it does help if I connect the controller to the track. There we go, let's give it some power now, and away we go. So as you can see, we now have a DCC loco which works. That's got a normal chip in it. You can take that out, put a sound chip in, straightforward, or you can take that out and put in a blanking plug and run it on DC if you wish. It's as simple as that. So as I said before, is it complicated? No, it's very simple. If I can do it, then anybody can do it. It's as simple as that. You just don't be afraid of it. It's very simple to do. It's taken me possibly 20 minutes just to wire this in. Okay, I've done it before, I know what I'm doing, but it is really easy. It's really easy. So moving forward, we're going to change the wheels on here, because this being a Lima loco has got the original pancake cutter wheels on there. They're very thick flanges. We will change those for some replacement wheels, which will improve the running no end. Also cleaning it will help as well, because I say it's a 1999 2000 loco, I think, so you know it probably needs a good service because that hasn't run for a long while, so we'll do that as well. And then we'll move on to putting lights in it, etc, etc, and we'll even weather it. So then you can see, compare it with a much newer locomotive, and see what you think. In the meantime, just before I go, as I say, we use 8-pin sockets and chips. There are of course other types of chips. There's 6-pin, there's 21-pin, there's 18, there's 22 pins, all different, all take different connectors, but it's fairly self-explanatory. If you've got an 8-pin chip, you want an 8-pin socket. So there we go. So I hope you like the video. I hope it's been of some use to you, and I hope it will, if you haven't done it before, give you the confidence to go and do it. As I said, if I can do it, then anyone can do it. If you have any questions or comments and you'd like to leave them, that would be much appreciated. I do appreciate your comments, like reading them all and responding to them. As I say, I hope you like the video, and I'll come back to you soon. We'll put the new motor in, the new wheels, and we'll move forward from there. So all that leaves me is to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.